today we are getting into step 3 of the Bridging the Gap challenge. We are about to get into the meat of the challenge. So today's challenge is very simple. I just want you to finish this sentence. In 2020, I want to what? I want you to go full out and brainstorm on what it is that you want to accomplish in 2020. So these are your goals that you're trying to achieve in 2020. And I just want you to write. I don't want you to start thinking, oh my gosh, I can't do this because I don't have XYZ. I can't accomplish this because I'm going to need XYZ. I don't need any of that. All I want you to do is write in 2020, I want to finish that sentence and write the first things that come to your mind. I don't want you to start talking yourself out of the things that you want. I just want you to write. And after you brainstorm your list, and I want to see like a whole list. I don't want like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, right? I want you to create an entire list. And then once you're done with that list, I want you to highlight just 4 things. 4 things that you, the first 4 things that you are going to attack. Let me say attack in 2020. The first 4 things. I just want you to highlight those 4 things. But before you highlight those 4 things, I want you to consider what you said was the most important part of your life at the current stage that you're in, right? So in the previous step, we said that the most important thing is what? For you, it might have been career or starting a business or your finances or your health. What was that most important thing? And then look at the goals that you've written out and you decide, well, this is related to the thing that I said is the most important thing in my life. So I probably should be working on 1, 2, 3, 4. So make sure those 4 things align with what you said. Remember, I didn't say, you decided what was most important to you at your current life stage. So the goals that you're working on should be related to that thing that you said was most important. See, that's why we're doing these exercises, because one exercise feeds into the other. So if you didn't complete the assignment before, when you answer the question of what was the most important thing to you in your current life stage, I need you to go back and do that, and then come and do this one where you write down all the goals that you want for 2020, and then you highlight only 4 goals that you want to accomplish in 2020. That doesn't mean that we're not going to look at the rest of them, right? But I just want you to tackle 4, because we're not going to have like a whole bunch of goals that we're trying to attack at one time, and then we don't get anything done because we didn't get one done, right? We're not going to do that. We're not going to invite overwhelms in our life in 2020. So I just want you to highlight 4 things, and that doesn't mean that we're going to address all 4 things at once, and I'm going to talk about that more tomorrow. So for those of you who have the book, I want you to take your 4 items that you've decided on, and I want you to put them in the workbook section. So this is the section where you write down your list of all the goals that you want to work on in 2020. And once you've decided on your 4, that's when you take the 4 and you go back in the goals workbook section and you put them in here. What are the goals that you want to work on? So you write your goal number 1. Now you see that's a lot of space for a goal, right? So what we are going to do, but not today, but when we talk in the video tomorrow, you'll see. I want you to break it down. I don't want you to just write your goal. I want you to kind of break it down. For example, one of my goals is to finish one of my books in 2020. But in order to finish the book, or publish the book is the goal, right? But in order to publish the book, I have to finish writing it. I have to get the cover. I have to get somebody to do the cover, get somebody to draw the cover or create the cover, however I do it, right? Get the ISBN number, make sure it's edited. Like, there's a whole list of things that goes along with publishing that book. So that's why you have all this space in your goal section, right? Because I want you to break it down in this section. What are all the things that are going to make this goal look complete? I want you to break it down. So that's why you have all this space. And then you also have the checklist of, remember, your goal has to be relative, original, yours, ambitious, and levitating. So if you have not watched the video yet on what that means, I need you to go back and watch the video on what are royal goals. I'm going to do a deep dive in all the letters at a later date. Maybe by the time you're watching this, they're already out there. But for those of you who are watching it in January 2020, there's going to be a video at a later date, a breakdown. But there is a high-level video that you should watch to break down what are royal goals. So make sure your goals are royal when you are creating them. So even if you just write like a simple sentence when you're doing your brainstorm, when you move to the other section where you're actually writing the four goals that you want to work on, I need you to write it in a way that makes it royal. So your goal should be relative, which means it's taken into account where you are in your current life. Two, it should be original. That's the O in royal. And that means that you're not writing down one of the goals that you've had before and you've been failing at from before. So that means you either need to do what? Break it down or change the goal completely, right? Y means the goal is yours. It's not anybody else's goal. It's something that you actually want to accomplish. A is ambitious because we are doing big goals in 2020. L is levitating, which means that this goal is going to take you to your next level, right? Because you're not going to be the same person that you were at the end of 2020 when you started it, right? So we are going to be in a whole completely different space at the end of 2020. So I want you to make sure that your goals are royal just like you. And I'll put a link in the description or wherever it is below to make sure that you have a link if you need to go back and watch that royal videos. And then once I do the deep dives, those links will be in the description box as well. So today, step 3. In 2020, I want to finish that sentence, and I need you to brainstorm a whole list of things that you want to complete in 2020. Then I want you to pick your top 4 things that you want to accomplish, right? And when you're picking your top 4, you are going to look at what you said was most important to you and identify whether or not those top 4 goals are related to the thing that you said is most important. Because if they're not, then either you're telling me that what's important to you really isn't because you're completely working on a different list of things, or you need to change what you said is most important to you because that's not true. So I want you to just work. I just want you to be working on those things that are important to you, because if you're not, then what are we doing here, right? Because I want these goals to be goals that you look at and be like, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to do it, right? Every day. I want you to feel like that. And if you don't feel like that, it's because they're not important to you. So I want you to remember what you said was important to you and pick 4 goals that are related to that. All right? So tomorrow we are going to break it down a little more. And then for those of you, again, like I said, with the workbook, when you transfer your goal to that workbook sections, I want you to kind of break it down just a little, because what does that finished goal look like, right? So if you're publishing a book, what are all the elements of that going to look like? Like, what does a published book look like, right? You have your cover, you have the details in your book done, like all that stuff. I need you to break it down in that goal section. And we're not focusing on all 4 goals at the same time. Yes, I said pick 4, but remember that we're not doing all 4 at the same time. And I'll break this down tomorrow as we talk about our action plan, because we're not going to invite overwhelm in our lives in 2020. So today's video, that's all I want you to do. I want you to write down what it is that you want in 2020, and I want you to pick just 4 things. And then with those 4 things, I want you to make sure that you write it in a way that is royal and broken down so you understand what your finished goal looks like. Okay? Alright, and if you need to watch the Royal Goals video, what are Royal Goals? I'm going to put a link in the description so that you can watch it. So go back and watch it. So I'll see you in tomorrow's video, because we're going to start working on our action plan, because it's time to take action in 2020. So I'll see you guys in the next video.